Raising the Roof, presented by the Central Indiana Realtist Association, a local chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Our mission is to build wealth through home ownership by enhancing economic development. We accomplish this goal by informing, advocating, and educating in the communities we serve. And now, Raising the Roof.
Welcome to Raising the Roof. I'm Dolores Kennedy with B&K Real Estate Services.
I'm Priscilla Russell with your team with Hustle. And today,
I am very excited to have Myra Lillard here as our featured speaker this week. She is going to be talking to us about CIRA, our history with NARAB.
There was a time, and there are still some times, that minorities, we could not be called realtors at all. In fact, we couldn't sell houses in certain areas. There's still some discrimination still today. But it was legal then. I guess we had laws that had been passed that said that we had these rights, but it was unwritten that you don't have to abide by those laws. And so we were not afforded the opportunities that our counterparts had. And so back in 1947, there was 12 people that got together, 11 men, 1 woman. You had to take that woman to help get it. That's how it all got started. But they saw that there was a need. And there was a reason, that we needed the same opportunities or to be afforded the same opportunities as others. And so that's how it came about. We are called realtists. Because we could not be called realtors, we became realtists. And that's where that name comes, a helper. That's our mission in helping us to do what needed to be done for ourselves. And I said this morning. There was a guy that was on the radio some years back, and he would always say, "Y'all, the cavalry is not coming. We got to get it for ourselves." That's what those 12 people did. They went out and started a revolution, so to speak, so that we would be able to go out and sell homes in certain areas. Because we were not afforded the opportunity, the MLS systems and stuff like that. They had to gather together and switch off the names of the properties that were available, because we did not have that. That's how NARAB came about. National Association of Real Estate Brokers is not just a fad, just not just a bunch of people saying just a bunch of black folks getting together. We got together because we had to. We had to make a difference for ourselves. That's how the National Association of Real Estate Brokers became about, and how we are able today to be able to have this wonderful group. Because it's 10 years ago. We started a lot longer before that, before we were actually formed. But it took us a while to get there, to even get to where 10 years ago we were able to get started. But there is a history behind what we're doing. It's just not something we're doing just to be doing. This is something that we needed to do for ourselves, so that we could be afforded the opportunity. And some of our trailblazers that we have had, and some of you are going to talk about possibly the trailblazers that we've had that have even come out of this group have been awesome. People that have blazed the trail for us to be here today. And so, and I'm sure Myra and Jackie will talk about that. But because of those 12 people, those 11 men and 1 woman, we were able to be called National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And our 75th year is this year in Tampa. We're in Tampa this year. If you can go. This is going to be a big celebration. The 75th year is going to be a big celebration. If you can go, please try to go. It's an awesome, even if it's not an anniversary or anything, it's an awesome conference to go to. So much education, so much stuff to do. And there are times that I've gone to the conferences, and when you can't do anything but go to the hotel, take a shower, and go to bed. You can't do anything. You're so tired from all of the education, all of the stuff. It's about educating and getting all that we can. Is that enough?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dolores.
You covered all of us.
Yes, I think she covered all of it. But I'm just here, just humbled, okay, because I'm looking out here at you guys and talking about a motley crew at the beginning. We were just a small group that had a heart for our community, had a heart to see our communities change with home ownership, with education. And so to piggyback off of Dolores, it has been a long journey for us. We've had some uphill battles because you all may not know, but there was actually, since this is a family talk, okay? But just to briefly let you know that there was another organization that was a part of NARAB, but it was more of an exclusive organization. And we weren't all able to participate in that group. I turned in my application and I was rejected because, I don't know how many bubbles are in a bar of soap. I don't know what the criteria was, but I didn't cut the mustard. And not only did I not cut the mustard, but a lot of us didn't. And so that kind of grieved me because that was not the realtist spirit, okay? NARAB, as a national organization of historically Black professionals, has always been inclusive. So quietly, one by one, we all knew that there needed to have been a sea change, a paradigm shift, how we look at each other. And that began our journey to say, let's see if we can't right that wrong. So as a lot of things happen, sometimes people have to die out, and so just staying energetic, staying hopeful, and keep knocking. Yeah. So the contingent in Ohio, the NARAB groups there from Cleveland to Akron, Cincinnati, Columbus, Dayton, they rallied around us individually over the years and said, fight and keep on fighting, okay? You guys, if you stick together, one of these days, you can get a chapter. And so that's what we did. And there was a group of us in the 90s. I don't want to date myself too much. That's okay. But in the 90s, there was a group of us. We had just a small group that decided to attend a national convention. Before we would get regional educational invites, and so we would partake in that. But then we got a chance, I want to say 1997, to come together and really see what it was all about on a big scale. And so Cheryl Davis Bird and Kim Ross Brown and Joyce Black, Milton Booth, myself, we just rallied together and went to our first national convention. So that lit a fire under us. So we came back, and that's what we did. We just kind of rallied together, had our little informal groups, and so we said, well, we're just going to make some change. And we're going to make some change, and we're going to make some change. And we got all of our applications together and submitted it, and of course, it didn't work except for a few of us. So years went by. Okay, I say the late 90s, so we're chartered in 2012, so it's been a long journey. And so this young lady here, she was a president of a group of Ariba, of real estate brokers. And the thing about that group was so important because typically, we're in larger, a lot of real estate practitioners are in large companies. they're franchised or they've got training staffs and they've got the whole enchilada. Well, Ariba was such that the independent broker really got a chance to get some footage, to coalesce around other independent brokers. Am I telling it right? Okay. So that way we were empowered. But I said, well, this is a local organization. I wonder, does she know about NARAB? Yeah. So I said, Joyce says, well, I know Dolores. And so she says, well, let me talk to her. So Joyce Black talked to Dolores and said, well, before you guys get off the ground, there's NARAB. If we can all come together, then it will be, we'll have the national presence to back us. And so we attempted that. And again, time marched on. So anyway, fast forward through that, a lot of hurdles to climb, a lot of bumps and bruises, and of course, at my age, a little tired. Okay, and so by the time I was ready to just really call it a day and just continue to go to national, because I couldn't get a foothold into getting anything locally, the Ohio group said, don't give up. And they start courting us 10, 15, 20 years later. And so Jackie and Dolores worked tirelessly saying, don't give up. Let's get it together. So there was major meetings. And these ladies, they stayed with it because I was tired at that point. And we're here today because of their stalwart effort in hanging in there. And we got Miss Diana to come alongside, who had a stellar career, who've done so much impactful things in the community, just was hallmark in what we know as INHP today, okay? Just a wealth of knowledge. So she gave us the moxie to just really come together and say, we can do this. Why they picked me as president, I have no idea. Only I think I got a gold star for hanging in there the longest.
On the first Wednesday of every month, realtors and real estate professionals are invited to our CIRA meeting, which is at 11:30. For information on attending the meeting, please go to our website at www.CIRA.NAREB.org for meeting information. Thank you.
So that was, how we started. You want to add anything to that, Jackie?
Well, I would just say that people have, I'm glad you said all this background. People understand what we went through to have this chapter and really appreciate what we have here. And it's incredible what we have here. And I look back through the years when we went through to get to this point. And I hope everybody does appreciate it. So I want to say, I hope everybody does appreciate it because it's very special. And we can come together in this room, all these different nationalities, ages, young, old like me. But everybody's welcome, and we can work together for a common good and take care of the housing needs in our city. And I'm really proud of this Realtors Week this week, especially because we're doing so much. We've never had a week like this before. So Dolores, you have done wonderful on that, and your committees, So do appreciate CIRA. Do back us. We need more workers. But I'm glad to be a part of it.
One thing I will add is that we had actually, because we had gotten to the point where a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, they had said, no. We've got it, you got it. We are all sitting at a table. Remember that time we were all sitting there waiting for the call. We were sitting in a conference room waiting on the call, and they called and told us, no, can't do it. we won't do it. So it took at least 3 times us doing that, getting together, trying to get that, and we had given up. And I said, don't call me no more. I ain't doing it. Don't call me. I am not doing it. We got a call from Julius, who was he was the national president, and he called and he said, I promise you, if you just let us come over and talk to you, we'll come and talk to you. And he said, I promise you, you'll get in this time. I said, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. 'Cause I was tired. We had done this. We had gone through this. We had gone flips. We got a name. We had gotten a C. What's the number? The
501c6.
50. Did all the stuff.
Yeah.
Did everything they told us to do. We did it. And they turned us down at least 3 times. They turned us down, and I told them, I said, I'm not doing it. And they asked if they came over. He said, I promise you, you will. And they came over. And there was one guy, George Hemphill. He said, you got to hear him tell the story. He said, and all these mad women in this room. He couldn't understand why all these people were so mad. Everybody, we were just sitting there because we were waiting on him to say that we couldn't do it again. And he said he did not understand it. But he said he was so happy that he stayed because he said he just did not realize what we had to go through to get there. But that we went to that meeting, they asked everybody in the room to go to national. Yes. We all went to national that year, remember? We went, was that the year we all went over in Cleveland? Yeah, we were over in Cleveland. Yeah, we were over in Cleveland. And they had all of us, we were all in a class. I remember us being in a class, and they came in and told us that we made it. I mean, you could not believe how relieved we were that we were finally a chapter of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. So it was not an easy feat, but you know what? I'm thankful, and especially this week, you know, with the activities that we've had going on, it has been such a blessing to see some of the things that have gone on this week and to know where we came from and where we are today. It is a blessing, and it's because of all of you. We work as a team, and that's what it's got to be about. It's got to be about teamwork.
Absolutely. And I would just like to say that sometimes it takes a little pain. There's one saying, you got to feel it to heal it. Yeah. And so I think when we go through hardships and hard times, what it showed is that we collectively, it's more than about an individual. It's about the collective self. And our hearts, it didn't matter our age, our color. We all had a mission. We had a mission in mind, and that we still have, that burns brightly. And so I just thought in terms of us finally being able to coalesce and get our charter, we were able to then celebrate those whose shoulders we stand on. And so 3 young ladies, actually 2 posthumously, and Elizabeth Booth is the only one that's still with us. But these ladies were awesome, just to make sure that we could move. We could move and pass on the baton in real estate. And so we had Daisy Lloyd, Dr. Daisy Lloyd, who's in her own right a pioneer, who had to file a lawsuit to be able to sell, to be able to go into a neighborhood. So this has all happened in our lifetime. And Iris Yates, another pioneer. Those 3 ladies, just awesome. Because, you just learn to fight through. And that as you're fighting, you realize that you're not in the fight by yourself, but other people come alongside you that may have a different experience, that may come from another neighborhood or another background or another color. It really didn't matter. We all wanted democracy in housing. We all wanted to see something happen into our communities to make that change. to bring about what we had in the past with 70% home ownership, to see it drop down to a dismal 40-something? Okay, so that we couldn't do it by ourselves, but as we come together, join together, and raise the banner of education, to let our people know that we do care about them, that financial literacy is important, not only to be able to get that home, but to be able to keep that home. So we have just made many, many milestones, and like I say, I'm just so thankful that we've got such a stalwart group of professionals here, from soup to nuts, okay? There's not one question concerning real estate or purchasing or title or insurance or how to get it fixed that we can't, if we ourselves don't. We're a resource group, and that's really what we found ourselves. We were partnering with the community to say, hey, we don't have all the answers, but we know who might have that answer. And so as from 2012, our beginning, I'm just so thankful to say that we have just had so many add-ons. You know, we celebrate those people that have gone before us in a mighty way, and again, that's a tribute to the people here that have just worked so hard, and I'm just happy to be along just to celebrate with them and to roll up our sleeves and work in whatever capacity that we can. And that 80-20 rule, you know, the thing is, if we each did just a little bit, it's just amazing the progress that we can make. This young lady has been working for I don't know how many years to bring about a gathering of the clergy, because we know that the clergy is the key.
Yes.
Okay, they're the gatekeepers of the community.
Yes.
And shouldn't it be that way? They don't want to just leave their people to anybody. We've got so many scams that are happening out here. People taking advantage, you know, all kind of money scams. And you knock, and you keep on knocking. And we were able to, this morning, have such a fabulous turnout. We touched the heart. We touched the heart of those pastors. And I dare say we had 90-100% of them that said, we need you guys.
Yeah.
We want to come alongside you. And we were able to paint the picture for them to let them know that you don't stand alone. You know, that we're advocating for the community, but you need to know that you've got a whole cadre of real estate professionals, okay, lenders. We're all here to help you. And if we have one voice, we can get some things accomplished that individually we just can't do it. And so I just believe that today is the beginning of a paradigm shift in our community to effect change. And so this is just a hallmark week to see things come to fruition that it was always on a hope to. So I just, you know, I celebrate those in the past whose shoulders we stand upon, and the young people now that are coming in to say, hey, you have a vital role in here, but I want you to know that we're talking, this is within our lifetime. It's not yesteryear, horse and buggy. These changes, this is in our lifetime. And healing has to take place. Mr. Pryor of my board, you know, he apologized for the wrongs that were done. And I said, well, you know what? There's a past for sure. And as Merchants Bank was, First Merchants talking today, yes, some things had to happen. There may have been a lawsuit to bring about awareness, you know, that there's needing to be a change. There needs to be a leveling playing field, if you will. But you know what? We get past that. We come together, okay, as a collective and saying, now what can we do? And I told him, I said, you know what, that's the past. Yes, it was hurtful that we couldn't sell in Indianapolis at one point. We couldn't get loans except for predatory. You know, we had so many things that we had to overcome. But guess what? This is a new age. We're awakened now. And the more we come to that understanding, we can move forward. We don't live in the past. And so we embrace each other. And I told him, I says, Mr. Pryor, you know, we're standing here together now on the platform. As a collective, we said, hey, we accept your asking for forgiveness. Okay, we move on. Okay, because that's what we have to do. That's how we heal. We don't hold grudges. We keep our eyes open, okay, and we keep on moving. We say, can we come alongside you and give you maybe some ideas to think about that would help our community?
Right.
But I'm just so thankful that just like Monday, just that conversation, it's like we're moving on. We're moving on, and we're moving on together because we're better together.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. What I'd like to say is, number one, it does excite me to see all of us in the room today. We take for granted a lot of things, we just do. But at the end of the day, as it's been said before, you know, for many of us, we've been on our journeys kind of by ourselves, and to have a CIRA local organization where we can all come together is really pretty special. One of the reasons I'm saying that is because for many of us, I think we've been probably back in our jobs, the only one, okay, especially if you're a person of color. And there was no one you could keep it real with, and there was no one you could learn from. And I'm a lender, so I'm going to come to it from a different angle. You know, we were having to deny loans that we knew should have been made. There was nothing you could really do about it. To be a part of an organization like CIRA, at least you have someone that you can talk to that feels the pain. For people like Mr. Pryor and folks who are wanting to set things right, another time you can come be a part of CIRA and kind of talk, freely without feeling like you're going to be attacked, and learn a little bit more, maybe help you think differently about guidelines and rules and memberships and all of that sort of thing. We've had super fantastic leadership here. I think we should, again, not take any of this for granted. We want to invite in all of our new people, all of our young people. Again, many of the issues that we're having right now is a result of us not being represented in places. So even beyond lenders and realtors, we want to be in a position where we have that single voice that Myra was talking about, that one very powerful voice to push lenders also to diversify their staffs. And you have the real estate side where you saw a lot of discrimination, and you have the lending side where you saw a lot of discrimination. And so we want to be that united voice, and we want to take advantage of what's been built here. And kudos to Dolores and to Myra and to Jackie. I don't know what vitamin she takes, but she never gets tired. And kudos to all of you ladies just for all of your very hard work, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I think...
I'm going to be the first one to ask everybody to stand up and applaud these ladies. I think